Hello, everyone.
Hi guys, this is our first episode for our retirement journey.
Retirement journey in the Philippines.
Yes, episode one.
One.
So we're going to start it with my first trip to the Philippines. And I actually have a correction to make. You forget things as years go on. I keep saying my first trip to the Philippines was 2004. And what I did was I went back to look at some of the photos that we took on our first trip. And it was 2006.
Yeah.
So I was off by 2 years. So that's not good. Memory starting to fade slowly. But this video is just to talk about, I guess, getting out of your comfort zone and, taking the dive. Wilma and I were together, for a while, and she kept saying, you need to take a trip to the Philippines. And I kept saying early on, okay, will happen, and it just didn't happen for a while.
Yeah, because I did come back here just with our son.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a trip by
Just a
yourselves.
trip, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So the bottom line was, I kind of delayed it a little bit because it was out of my comfort zone.
Plus, it's your job.
And in my job, getting
Yeah.
away, coming to the other side of the world, and that's something if you're considering going to, a tropical island on the other side of the world, you need time. It's something that you just don't take a 1 week vacation because with jet lag, and it takes, I think it took us 30 hours to get from door to door.
36 hours.
36
Yes,
hours
36 hours from our door to my mom's house
in Leyte.
in Leyte.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
So, guys, really, if you're thinking about traveling abroad, and this channel is about building the Philippines, so we're talking about the Philippines, but this could work for any island. You have to take the first step. Call it the plunge, getting out of your comfort zone. Just because you come to the Philippines doesn't mean that you're going to live there full time or you're even going to build a home there. Just to visit. It's a big deal.
It is. It's a big move.
It's a big move. It's a big deal. It's a big
Yes.
vacation. It's a long time. We're from the East Coast of the United States in New York, so we flew out of JFK. And that flight now, it's nonstop. It wasn't back then.
No.
Now they can fly with the more modern airplanes nonstop. It's a 16-hour flight now from JFK into Manila. So just imagine jumping on a plane for 16 hours. But our first trip back in 2006 was still out of JFK because it was the best price.
Yes.
But we flew Korean Airlines into South Korea.
Seoul, Korea, right?
To Seoul.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a 4 or 5 hour layover.
Yeah.
And then it's like a 4-hour flight from South Korea to Manila. So definitely for me, I was nervous.
Yes, because it was your first time to come all the way to the other side of the world. It is. It's a big.
It was a big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yes.
definitely a big deal. So we landed in Manila, and then I think we had about a 5 or 6 hour layover, and you have to change terminals
Yeah, to domestic.
to domestic. So
Yeah.
we met your brother,
Yes.
and we had a few hours to spare. So I can remember getting off the plane in Manila, and our first trip was August. So it's pretty hot.
It was hot.
And we're going back for Fiesta.
Yes.
Because Fiesta in her barangay is in August, so we kind of timed it to be there for that. And I can just remember getting off the plane, and you'll do the same your first trip, going, wow, this is hotter than I imagined. That's my first memory. Wow, it's hot. And I can remember talking through you to your family, to your brother and his wife and everything, saying, we really do need to get somewhere with some air conditioning
Yeah.
because I was really melting. I mean, I could just feel the water draining out of me. I was sweating so bad. I don't do that now. I've acclimated.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of new foreigners here, and you see that they're really soaking wet. They're probably new to the Philippines. So I remember that. And I do distinctly remember you and your brother saying, oh, when you get to Leyte, oh, it's by the ocean, and it's a nice cool breeze. And I bought it. I bought it hook, line, and sinker, saying, oh, that's great. So, we spent our time, we got on the plane, and we flew to Tacloban,
Yes.
the airport in Leyte, and we landed. And I can remember we were towards the back of the plane, small plane, it was a jet, and they opened up the back door, and the rush of heat kind of created like a rainstorm from the air-conditioned plane, and that humidity and heat coming in, it really just burst into a rainstorm. And I remember walking out, and I've told this story before. What did I say?
Holy cow. It's like an oven.
Yeah.
Let me go back in.
Go back in the plane.
I was laughing at people hearing you. They were laughing because it was really hot.
It was hot.
It was really, really hot when we arrived there.
Yeah, because it's on blacktop,
Yes.
and you're out. It's not an actual terminal. You're getting down little stairs, and you're standing on the tarmac itself. You're on the blacktop. And I can remember also that it must have just rained because the blacktop was a little wet, so that just made the humidity even worse.
Yeah.
And I can just remember, and I had a shirt like this, I'm sure, shorts, and just said, oh,
You are so.
this is unbelievable. The heat was so bad. So you'll experience that. And comment below, guys, when your first trip to the Philippines, if the heat kind of grabbed you more than what you can, remember.
Yeah.
So it was rough. And then we had a 3-hour jeepney ride. Now, if I remember correctly, we did it differently with subsequent trips, but I made the decision that I wanted to take a jeepney back to your parents' house. Do you remember
Yes,
that?
because my whole family came and
Yes.
meet us at the airport.
Right.
And it was my aunt's jeepney.
Yes.
And I said, are you sure you want jeepney? Because jeepney is no aircon, it's just open.
Yeah.
But then he said, yeah, I want to
Big
experience
mistake.
that. That was a big mistake. And
Big
it was
mistake.
so hot.
So it was a real big bus. I would say it sat probably 30 people, I would imagine. As it was a big jeepney, it was her aunt's. And basically her whole family, her brothers and wives and her nephews and nieces and your mom was there. Your dad didn't come.
Yes.
He stayed in Palompon.
Yes, he did, yeah.
But there was probably, I'll just say 20 family members. Now remember, I haven't met them before. So I said, oh, let's do that. Let's get a big jeepney and, we'll meet the family all at one time at the airport and take the trip. Big mistake, because what I could have done was rented a van that has air conditioning in it, that seats like 10 people. And that was just a big mistake. And then it was so hot, we made the decision to sit up front in the front 2 seats with the driver because it would give you more airflow.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big mistake. Because do you remember?
I was burning. My legs was burning. I was so close to the engine or the exhaust or something because it was just like...
Yeah. And we haven't rehearsed this, and I wanted to know if she remembered that.
I do.
Because the floor of the jeepney, the cab, no exaggeration, the floor would melt your shoes.
Yeah.
The soles of your shoes. It had to have been a couple hundred degrees. The heat that radiated off that steel. There was no insulation, there was no carpeting, no rubber mats. It was just steel. And it had to have been 200 degrees. And we had to keep lifting our feet.
That.
Yeah. You had to lift your feet, even though you had sneakers on. It was too hot. you had to lift your feet up for 3 hours. So that's the kind of the vivid memory of things that I can remember. But I do remember meeting everybody. I remember your mom approaching me for the first time that we talked on the phone. Very welcoming. Your brothers and your sister-in-laws.
My uncle.
Your uncle was
his
there.
Wife was there.
Yep. And your aunt. You know, basically a lot of the family was very, very welcoming to me. Which I appreciated very much. We stayed 3 weeks, and I just remember constantly throughout those 3 weeks struggling with the heat. Now, the house that she built in Leyte, you guys heard it 1,000 times. You know, we had a bedroom and a master bath and a little porch. It had air conditioning in it. And another main reason why we went there was the house was finally built. So she was seeing, other than photos, really seeing the house for the first time completed.
Yeah.
It was, completely done, and it was nice to go and see it firsthand and things like that. So that was our first trip. I can remember swimming a lot in the ocean. I can remember going fishing with your uncle.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything like go to malls or anything like that.
No.
It was really family time the first time. A lot of getting invited to your aunts and uncles in the community.
Yeah, we get invited to many homes because it was during a fiesta.
Right.
Yes.
I can remember the parades.
Yeah.
I can remember the shows that they would have, the discos.
The discos.
It was just a lot of fun, and it was very different. And that's another point I like to make. It was very different from my life in the United States. It was centered around family more. It was centered around fun more. Of course, we're on vacation. So when you go on vacation, there's always fun that you seek out. But I really did see the culture for the first time. And if you've never been to the Philippines, you just don't know. You just don't understand the culture. And you hear, lots of positives, lots of negatives. But that was my first trip, was all positive, 3 weeks, lots of heat. I can remember every time we got invited for dinner, and it was usually a family member. It was an uncle, it was an aunt, it was a cousin. They were always so concerned about what I was going to eat. And they would go out of their way saying, that's mineral water, not local water. I can remember one aunt went out and said, this is not a native chicken. I went out and bought a store chicken for you to eat. They were very, very concerned about me not getting sick. And I really appreciated that.
My family goes out of their way to make sure that they welcome you to their home and buys food that they don't usually buy. So you want to, is this time when we went back and stayed a couple days in Manila?
We did.
And you got to see where my brother lived?
Yes.
Yes.
We did that, I think, 2 or 3 trips in a row.
Yeah, we did.
So good point. So we got done, and like I said, we had about 21, 24 days of vacation. So what we did was we went back from Tacloban, another 3-hour bus trip. But we took a van that time. With air conditioning. And then we flew to Manila, and I think we had 2 days before our flight. So we stayed in Manila, outside of Manila, and I had a chance to see her 2 brothers home and 2 of your uncles home. And that was an experience.
That was very experience for you because it was very you've never seen it all your life. And you actually were become emotional a little bit there, seeing how people live there. I mean, I can remember walking around, not to get too graphic, but I can remember, and I have a photo, maybe I'll put it up on here. A photo of, I was walking around in and around where her brother lives, and they were actually cooking dog. And they invited me because I was really the only foreigner in that area.
And here's another thing that just popped in my mind. Both in Leyte and Manila,
Laguna,
her brothers wouldn't let me go anywhere alone.
No.
And, a few times I said to Wilma, they don't need to be 6 foot from me the whole time. I can walk around and see things on my own. But her brothers wanted to make sure that nothing happened to me.
Yeah.
So, fast forward now all these years, I'm everywhere. We go out and about, and it's just Wilma and I, and we never had a problem. But they were concerned, and they were just worried. And the Philippines is very safe for the most part. I mean, of course, there's pockets of areas that's problems, just like any country in the world.
Anywhere, yeah.
But I can remember, it just popped in my mind, that I would say, "Hey, Wilma, let's go out for a walk." And we go out for a walk, and I turn around, and one of her brothers would be right behind us.
Or my nephew.
Yeah.
And my niece, they'd be following us.
They would follow us, making sure that everything was okay.
Yes.
But we were walking around, and they were cooking dog. Very poor area, guys.
Yeah.
So that's something else that you will notice if you visit the Philippines for the first time. This is a very poor country. It's a developing country, and a lot of the vloggers show, including us, the good stuff, right? We show beaches, we show go scuba diving, we're showing waterfalls, we're showing our homes, we're showing, look, this new highway, look at this new store that just opened up, look at this mall. It goes on and on and on. But there's not a lot of channels. There's channels out there. But if you go a little deeper or a couple blocks off,
it's a big difference.
There is a lot of, for lack of a better word, slum areas. Guys, there's a lot.
And there's people live there.
And they live there.
Yeah.
And they don't have electricity. They don't have running water. There's open sewers.
Yeah.
It's really, really true. However, when you go into those areas, and Wilma and I do, Wilma and I are not afraid of going in most areas. Now, if we were in downtown Manila, maybe we would be a little more heightened alert. Are we cautious? Of course we are. We're not going to be silly about things. But we've been here 2 years, never had an issue. But when you go into those areas that we don't film, we don't go in there in video. We just don't do that. The people are happy. They're smiling. They're welcoming.
They like to share what they have.
They always say
offer.
Yes.
Offer food.
A meal or something like that.
To drink. Yeah, they always offer what they have or share
100%.
the bare little things that they have.
100%.
Yeah.
So that was our first trip. It was like 21 to 24 days right around in there. We couldn't stretch it with our jobs any more than that. I can remember the heat. I can remember the fact that people were so friendly. We really didn't get out and about and start going to different areas until our third or fourth trip to the Philippines. But there is some more stories that we'll tell on some more videos. But we wanted to talk about if you're thinking about visiting the Philippines, you should do it. I would not recommend where you hear a lot of people say, I'm getting close to retirement age and I'm gonna retire, sell my house, sell my car, pack up a bag and move to the Philippines and you've never been here.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be our recommendation because you do hear people that come here and they can't adjust. So get out of your comfort zone, come and visit. You get a 30-day visa for free just upon entry, as long as you have your passport. And I'm talking about countries like Canada, US, UK, Germany, Australia, New Zealand. That's where most of the folks are coming to the Philippines. Your passport, you just show up at immigration, you just hand the passport, you get stamped for 30 days, you're good to go. No exit clearance needed as long as you leave before 30 days. So our recommendation is to get out of your comfort zone. So many people in your first world countries, you got the best of everything, right? The electricity or the electrical grid is great. Wi-Fi is fantastic. you got your comfortable homes.
It's not too hot.
Yeah, the weather is not steaming hot.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky to be in your first world countries, but get out of your comfort zone and come see, I guess, for lack of a better word, you hear Prince?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that somebody's walking by.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worker usually.
He's really getting protective of the property. So I don't know if you can hear him barking. He very rarely barks.
Yeah.
If he's barking, and you can see he's still here at the overhang, he won't go down to the gate.
No.
He basically just stands up here saying, "Don't come on this property."
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do another video of Prince and how big he's getting. We'll do that. But getting back to getting out of your comfort zone, take a chance. See a big portion of the world is not all rich, guys. There's nothing wrong with seeing other cultures, and it does change you.
Yes.
Without question. I've been here 2 years.
Change him.
I'm different than what I was 2 years ago when I was in the U.S.
You're always like in a go, rush, and like always thinking about work. And
Right.
just that's our life there.
Right.
Just work, home, work, home.
And I think I understand the struggles of people that are in a developing country. It's hard to see. We can't make one singular person a lot of change. Can we assist and help? Absolutely. Do we really enjoy doing that? We really do. We keep a lot of that private, but nonetheless, it changes you when you see families who have basically nothing.
Yeah.
So many homes here have dirt floors. So many homes here has one electrical line coming in with one bulb.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky.
Yeah. There's still people that don't have electricity.
Don't have electricity. Yeah, there's a lot. People work for food.
That's it.
That's what they work for. A lot of people barter. A lot of people up in this area, in our surrounding area, they farm because the dirt up here is so fertile.
Yeah.
So what they do is they sell or barter their fruits and vegetables for rice and fish. So that's all they want. They want rice, fish, fruits and vegetables. That's what they want. They don't need anything else. I'll tell a quick story. Before we got to solar, the people would come up to collect the money for the electric. In this area, we don't have to go to electric company to pay. They come to us. And they call for you, and then you come out and say, "Oh, you're here to collect for the electrical bill." So you get talking to some people, and they say, "Oh, the people up here love when there's brownouts."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's going on? Why would somebody be happy when there's a power failure in the area?" And they say they have no electric bill. Their electric bill will be smaller if the electricity goes out more because they're concerned about the few cents. So the lady has everyone's electric bill. So I said, let me look at that. And people's electric bill is 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents. I think we seen one that was 16 pesos.
Yeah.
So for the month. So that's about 28 cents, their electric bill for the month.
Yeah. That's
their electric bill. And they have to sell their fruits and vegetables to get that 28 pesos. So life here is definitely a struggle, and it changes you. And I really think that for someone who is pondering about visiting, okay, not necessarily that want to move here, though a lot of people do want to move here once they get here and see how nice it is and how, the country and the culture and the people, all the positives. But just people to say, hey, I want to see another culture. I want to take a vacation and see another country. Maybe it's Mexico, maybe it's Vietnam. We're happen to be talking about the Philippines. Get out of your comfort zone, give it a shot, and I think you'll be better for it. So that was my first trip to the Philippines.
Yeah.
The heat, how friendly people were.
The culture, you got to see
the culture. It was really life changing.
Yeah.
And that started the ember burning, whereby I think when I came back from my fourth trip, which we'll get there probably in the next episode, when I got back to the US and said, I think I want to live here full time.